Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass, I got a question for you. With all the riots that's taking place in your great city of LA and state of California, do you guys have any plans of telling these folks to stop? I noticed on X, neither one of you guys had said anything. Does that mean you support it? If you don't say anything and it takes you hours not to do this, maybe this is a strategy. It gets a lot of people to question and say, maybe this is going to continue, this behavior of rioting is going to bleed into other states like Texas.
Outrage that this has happened. Of course, what happened here, I think, was probably the worst. There were a number of locations where ICE raided today. And, you know, to me, when these things happen, it sows a sense of terror in the community. It's bad enough that it happened at this location, but the way this goes and spreads throughout the community, then people are not sure where they're safe.
Yes, they still struggle to pretend like they don't know what is happening in today's city. Karim Pass and Gavin Newsom is criticized on social media. Trump sent this out. If Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Mayor Karim Pass of Los Angeles can do their job, which everyone knows they can, then the federal government will step in and solve the problem. When you take a look at what Gavin Newsom sent out, it is extremely concerning that these people are ungrateful. It is crazy. Gavin Newsom responded in a way that triggered a lot of people on social media. I'm going to show you what exactly is going on. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm if you share the video.
Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass, I got a question for you. With all the riots that's taking place in your great city of LA and state of California, do you guys have any plans of telling these folks to stop? I noticed on X, neither one of you guys had said anything. Does that mean you support it? If you don't say anything and it takes you hours not to do this, maybe this is a strategy. It gets a lot of people to question and say, maybe this is going to continue, this behavior of rioting is going to bleed into other states like Texas, like New York, like Illinois, maybe even in DMV, you know, DC, Virginia, Maryland area, maybe other states, maybe Phoenix, Arizona a little bit, because this is a plan. If it isn't, Mayor Bass, respectfully, I don't expect you to do anything because I do think you support illegal immigration based on what you said about 20 hours ago. Gavin Newsom, Governor Newsom, a state I lived in for 24 years, a city, LA, I lived in for 24 years. You've been shown the last 9 months that you want to come a little bit more to the center. And maybe you're starting to realize you guys had some terrible policies that caused $1 trillion of money under management to leave your state. Hundreds of thousands of great job creators, great citizens left your state, and a lot are waiting to leave your state. Any plans of saying anything or doing anything? A lot of people were caught on camera throwing things at marshals, U.S. marshals, at cops. Do you want support federally from President Trump? This type of behavior shows you're not going to get any of it and you don't want it. But if you were to say something, maybe this is a good time. It's a good time for them to hear from their governor. Stop behaving this way. We do not support it. For everybody else who either lives in California, once lived there, or wants to see that state be great again, tag Mayor Bass and Gavin Newsom. Maybe we'll get their attention.
To help try and keep those people from the gate here. Okay, so here we are. We're in the middle of the street here. You can see one person trying to stand right in front of this SUV here, but it's just such a dangerous situation here. And it's really not going to do him any good to be standing there and possibly get ran over by agents. So here they are. They're on 9th Street now. The crowd is running alongside with these vehicles. And I'd pretty much guarantee that this SUV is not going to stop. Someone throwing, looks like,
wow.
All right, let me widen out here. Okay, so we saw some eggs being thrown at the vehicle. Now he is just, partly ran over by that SUV.
And there goes getting up.
That individual got what they deserve. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And the people that claim to be virtuous and moral are quite literally weaponizing ICE's morality against ICE. They're banking on the fact that the vehicle will not run them over. It's called asymmetric morality. One side plays by the rules, and the other side exploits those rules. And that's exactly what they're in this video. Again, they're exploiting ISIS morality. They're manipulating ISIS morality to their advantage.
Yes, Steve sent this out. The people in charge in LA are not in charge. Newsom, Bars, Co. are more concerned with appeasing the left than protecting our citizens from crime and disorder. It is totally unacceptable when Governor, we will uphold safety in our community. Okay, when you take a look at Gavin Newsom tweet, as the federal government conduct chaotic immigration sweep across the country, the state is deploying additional chief CHP to maintain safety on Los Angeles highways to keep the peace. It is to keep the peace. It is not their job to assist in federal immigration enforcement. The federal government is sowing chaos so they can have an excuse to escalate. That is not the way any civilized country behave. Gavin Newsom is crazy, like look at what he's sending out. If you are unable to do your job, then the federal government can do that.
It's so interesting. I don't know if you were familiar with what the New York Times' Shane Goldmacher reported earlier this week. And he compared all the counties in the United States over the election years 2012, 16, 2020, 2024, and the extraordinary movement of the Latino community, Latino voters, into Donald Trump's camp, away from what they called part of the Obama coalition in 2012, part of what got Obama elected, I'm sure, in 2008, but then again the second election when he was reelected in 2012. And yet, the Trump administration is targeting those that they call illegals, a phrase that we do not use here on MSNBC.
Right.
So once again, we've seen Los Angeles, America's second city, descend into crime and chaos and lawlessness. We saw it the other weekend when you had that illegal house party end up with hundreds of thugs rampaging around the community, destroying businesses, lighting things on fire, destroying police cars. And the authorities did nothing, literally nothing. And nobody was arrested. And you saw it again in the last 24 hours. Total chaos and disorder on the streets. And what do we get from the people in charge? Pathetic, pandering statements from everyone, the governor, the mayor, the sheriff, the head of the LAPD, all of them. Just putting out statements, pandering to the political left instead of doing their job. The basic job of the people in charge is to ensure order and safety for everyone and to stop things getting out of control. That is their job, but they're not doing their job. The people in charge are obviously not in charge. They are more concerned with appeasing the political left. That is totally unacceptable. We have to guarantee law and order and safety on our streets.
Yes, I took time to observe how the mainstream media is reporting this. They are calling it peaceful demonstrations. That is how they are calling what you just saw. Look at what they are doing. This is extremely concerning. They can call out this. Just imagine these people picking stones, shooting cars here and there. Then you call it peaceful. Gavin Newsom also said that when I look at what these people actually do, they encourage this to happen every single time. Yeah, struggling to gain political points, but I'm glad that people are waking up. It's crazy. Yes, to actually observe that these people still silent. They don't send out, warning to these people like this is a good thing. Insane, right? Governor Newsom said this. The sector of defense is now threatening to deploy active duty Marines on American soil against its own citizens. This deranged behavior. Yeah, because the situation is beyond what we actually even expected. In a case like this, what can you do?
But he had a 4.0 GPA. He had a
I want to appreciate people that are supporting me on this platform. I'm grateful. If you notice, sometimes I usually add videos at the end of my clips. That is for the YouTube algorithm. They refuse to recommend videos sometimes, so it's necessary.
Who effing who?
People line up for my advice, and you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like I've written books, I've given speeches.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize? Not just us, but like the Harvards and the MITs of the world. Look,
There are just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just listen to what I said.
there's something wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed here, and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
What did you make of Donald Trump's post this morning alleging that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot?
Justice will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense. The kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor.
Bedroom, because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything. And then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man, Killmonger.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very.
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like a little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
From an employee, and they had a brother.